guys, it's Alice, and since it's October, I thought it could be fun to do the Halloween creature book tag. I'll link to where I found this tag below, and the first question is Werewolf, the perfect book to read at night. I think Through the Woods by Emily Carroll is the perfect book to read when it's dark outside. This is a graphic novel and it has like 5 short stories that are kind of like creepy folk tales, and the art in here is absolutely incredible. It's really dark and kind of like gruesome in a lot of ways, but it's really good. And this is perfect for when you want to be like creeped out but not like outright frightened, if you know what I mean. And it's just perfect for when it's dark outside. The second question is Frankenstein, a book that truly shocked you. The last book that I can remember being really shocked by is the 3rd Game of Thrones book. This is A Storm of Swords. I forgot how massive it is, but this is huge. I can't believe I made my way through this, but this, like the end of this, really shocked me. And I remember that I read this before the 3rd season came out because I kept telling people that hadn't read the books, like, just you wait until season 3 because by the end of it, it's gonna go down like, oh my god. Next it says The Devil, a dark or evil character. I think one of the most interesting evil characters that I know of is Dolores Umbridge from the Harry Potter series. And like whenever someone talks about evil characters, I always think of her, and I think she just bothers me so much. Like I have such a problem with her because she's one of those people who doesn't think she's evil, and those are the worst kinds of people because she's not like on Voldemort's side. So she thinks that she's, I don't know if she thinks she's a good person, but she doesn't think she's evil and she thinks she's right. And those are like the worst types of people, and I find those characters so much more interesting than, for instance, like Bellatrix, who I also love by the way, but she is just like outright evil. She knows it and she loves it. But Umbridge is just like in the middle somewhere, and she's just, oh my gosh, she is the worst. The next creature is the Grim Reaper, a character that should have never died. I have got another Harry Potter answer for this because, to be honest, usually when characters die in books, it doesn't necessarily bother me that much, or like it doesn't stick with me the way that the fact that Fred dies in the last Harry Potter book does. I'll never get over it. Like it was so sad the first time I read it, and it's still like just as sad when I read it now. It just feels so unnecessary, and I try not to think about it because it just bothers me so much. And I don't know if it's because he's a twin or what, but like, oh my god, I'll never get over it. Next, we've got a creature that is my least favorite creatures of all of them, and it's Zombie, a book that made you hungry for more. I have like an irrational fear of zombies for some reason. Like they just bother me so much. Like I can't watch movies or TV series about zombies. I can take like a little bit, but if it's a lot, I cannot deal with it for some reason. They just like freak me out so bad. Anyway, my answer to this question is The Wise Man's Fear, which is the 2nd book in the Kingkiller Chronicle trilogy. I read this book 10 years ago, and I'm still waiting for the 3rd one. I've actually been waiting a third of my life. Will the 3rd book ever come out? I don't know, but I am hopefully waiting. I love this series. They're some of my favorite fantasy books, and I've actually sort of been meaning to reread them for like years, but I keep putting it off because I don't want to renew like that hunger for the 3rd book. So I'm sort of waiting for the 3rd one, but like it's never coming, so yeah. This series is really good though. Every time I talk about these books, it makes me want to reread them, but then I also don't want to reread them because I just want to read the 3rd book too. The 5th question is Gargoyle, a character that you would protect at all cost. I would protect the little snake from The Little Snake. His name is Lanmo, and he is the best friend of this girl. And he's just the sweetest, cutest little thing, and not that he needs protection, but I would protect him. Then we have got Vampire, a book that sucked the life out of you. My answer for this is a book that I read this year, and it is The Famished Road by Ben Okri. I just couldn't get on with that book. I really just did not like it. Every page sucked all like reading joy right out of me. I just could not with that book, and to be honest, the more I think about that book, the more I hate it. Next it says Ghost, a book that still haunts you. So the first book that came to mind for this question is 1984 by George Orwell, because this just really opened my eyes to so many concepts that I still think about, like totalitarianism and individual identity versus collective identity, and like double think. And there's a lot of interesting things that are discussed in this book that I still think a lot about, especially with like how things are going in certain countries nowadays. Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty haunting book. The next creature is Demon, a book that really scared you. A book that really like freaked me out was De Dødes Jern by André Bjerke. This is a Norwegian classic, and it's about these people who go up to this cabin in the woods because their friend has committed suicide there. And I think the reason it freaked me out so much is the setting, because I'm so familiar with the setting. It's set by this like little lake, and I grew up next to like loads of those places, and there's just something like, oh my god, there's something that really bothers me about it. Like, it really gets to me and it really freaks me out. Then we have got Skeleton, a character that you have a bone to pick with. So I'm gonna cheat for this answer, kind of, because it's something that happened in the show, but it hasn't happened in the book yet. But I'm assuming it will when the book actually comes out. And it's Jaime Lannister. The fact that he goes back to Cersei, oh my god, he has like the most amazing story arc in the books and in the show. Like, he grows so much and he ends up in the same place. Like, I just, why? I'm sorry that I'm like yelling at you now, but I get so worked up for some reason, but let's just move on. Second to last, we have got Mummy, a book that you would preserve throughout time. I would preserve some of my favorite books because obviously, and I've picked two because for some reason I can't just stick to one. So we've got Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie and The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I hope these books survive for as long as there are people to read them. Lastly, it says Creepy Doll, a cover too scary to look at. I don't really have that many creepy or scary covers, but I did find two classics that kind of freak me out. So we have The Castle of Otranto. This is just like, I don't know. There's something about it that just bothers me. And then we have Selected Tales by Edgar Allan Poe that has this person on the cover who is actually like really terrifying. Okay guys, those were all the creatures and questions, and I'd love to know what your favorite creature is out of these. I think I would pick like gargoyles or maybe Frankenstein. And I'd also love to know what book truly shocked you. And I will see you soon. Bye!